Okay, I promise it'll be short and sweet. I know it's the end of the day and you're all probably really tired. How to find the truth. On my way here this morning, I heard something on the radio, and it kind of related to what I'm doing today, and it was about how many fake positive 5-star reviews there are out there on all of these sites that sell products like Amazon. There's so many thousands of 5-star reviews that they're now finding out some of them are fake. So now more than ever, it's important for us to teach our children, the real world type example of how to search for the truth and how to discern between real and fake news. Oh, do I have a... Okay, here is what I used my grant funds for, all $1,000. It was like $994. But I got the Storyworks magazine for all of my 6th graders, Scholastic Action for all of the 7th graders, and Choices for all of my 8th graders. Now let me tell you about my schedule. The first hour and a half of the day, I'm at the elementary school. I'm the school librarian. And then I travel from there up to the middle high school where I have dual credit students, so forth until lunch. After lunch, I have 4 classes. One is an RTI class. Then I have a mixed group of 6th and 7th graders. I have a 7th grade class and an 8th grade class. So that's what I've used my materials for, is my time at the middle high school. But of course, I do talk about fake news to all of my elementary students. It's something we're going to have to incorporate in everything that we do when we're reading nonfiction, especially online or in social media. The reasons I got the magazines, the reason is because as we read, especially a nonfiction article, we look for things like, is the author an expert in that field? Did the author include some experts? Did they include some primary sources? Where did they get their information? And we look for the references. And it's really important, that would be like my next steps. No matter what you do with them, always kind of go back and find out a little bit about your author. Find out about the sources they've included, and if they're credible or not, and if they're timely, if they're up to date. So that's the reason I use the magazines. They are my positive examples, because we know Scholastic, they're going to be very careful to make sure that they have the correct information in there. And it's a good idea to bring in some other publications that are primarily devoted to commercialism, kind of selling things, so that you can compare the way they talk about things in different ways, if they're biased, that type of thing. So this is a Scholastic article from the September 2017 issue. And one of the reasons why I wanted these Scholastic magazines is when you do buy a subscription, like I bought 30 for each grade, you also have access to all of the past lessons and articles and video clips. So I can go back and I can look up any issue they have listed online way back years and years. And lots of times you'll have something you're teaching in your classroom and you might want to, go look it up in Scholastic and see if they have some really good resources and videos, games, different things. So the lesson plans are great because they list all of your objectives, everything you need to turn into your people above you when they come in to observe. But this was a really good lesson that we did on fake news. They have some great video clips. Of course, my essential question, this was on my board, why is knowing the truth important? So we had a long discussion about, how if fake news is spread, it can change people's reputation. It can hurt people. And I'll talk to you about some reasons. First of all, why do you care? First of all, you deserve the truth. If you're going to read something that is nonfiction, you deserve to know the truth. And you've got to make sure you know how to tell whether it is or not. Fake news can destroy credibility, not only the credibility of the person when you discover they've written something fake, but especially when you share it. Have you ever saw something or have you ever seen something on social media and you thought, oh my gosh, and you share it before you thought? You should always go check the source because there's so much fake news. Fake news is not a new thing. Fake news has been going on since the first newspapers were published. When another newspaper came out, they had to outdo that paper. You've got the Pulitzer guy who had the World newspaper in New York. And then, of course, William Randolph Hearst came in, and he had the next newspaper. And what did he have to do? He had to outdo the other one. So they started fake news way a long time ago, trying to outdo each other and make things more outlandish so that people would read their paper, because people like to read that kind of stuff. Inquiring minds want to know. Have you ever heard that? Fake news can hurt you and a lot of other people. It can hurt you like misleading medical advice. I found this little resource. I really liked it. And I want you to note that I put my source down there in the bottom right corner. People share stuff all the time, and they don't tell you where they got it. A lot of people act like it's their words. They'll put a quote on social media, and they don't say who wrote it. We need to give credit where credit is due, and we need to teach our students to do that. This is a librarian talking to you, okay? Real news can benefit you, but fake news sure can't. Okay, so there's lots of categories of fake news. It's on social media a lot. Then like this morning, like I told you, people giving 5-star reviews to things. Okay, so pay attention. Don't buy something based on those reviews. Reviews you need to read very carefully if you're buying something. Any .com you have to check. I'm going to go ahead and jump over here. What makes a story fake? You can't verify it. It appeals to your emotion. It's like clickbait. You want to click on it. The authors usually are not experts. It can be found just in that one place. So if you hear something, like when I heard that, what's his name, Tyler Perry? Is that who it was that passed away about a month ago? The one from Beverly Hills 90210. When I saw that, I didn't know for sure if he had died. Because you don't know what to believe, because I saw it first on Facebook. So I went to check all the news stations, check other places before you say, oh my gosh, I loved him, and you share it. Okay, so I try to tell my kids to check that. And fake news comes from fake sites a lot. You have to know what the sites are. So this is a copy of my lesson plan. I'm just going to flip through that because I did the same thing. I used the Scholastic website for 5 days worth of fake news lessons. We did that, but the best thing that I did was go to Google Applied Digital Skills. Have any of you ever used that? It will make you create a Scratch account. They have lots of coding activities. They have activities on how to do a database, how to do a spreadsheet. Very easy for kids to use. They love it, and they love Scratch. But one of their lessons is called Research and Develop a Topic, and I highly recommend this. In this, the children have to write their own fake news article. So this is one of my children's articles. I have over 100 of them in my Google Drive, but we don't have time for them. But if you look at the top, huge Gucci sale, look how they spelled sale. That's different little ways you can find out if things are fake. My children did these things on purpose. They misspelled stuff. They used the wrong version. Okay, they misspelled. They had bad grammar. They did these things because they wanted to help their other classmates. They all presented their fake news, and they let them decide how they knew it was fake news. So, rare species found. They've made themselves, this new creature that's been discovered, a lizard. They found a picture. They created it, and they shared this with their classmates. And that link, my kids, some of them went out and wrote websites, and they linked to them, and they asked for things like your email address, your social security number, your bank account number. They asked for things that are like clickbait, so that I feel like at the end, all of my students wrote some really outlandish things, and middle schoolers get really crazy at the end. They want to outdo each other on who can be the most outlandish with their story. So they kind of got away from it a little bit by being silly, but they all did present their fake news. And this is a disease you can get, but you call 1-800-antibiotic, and you go to that website, give them your email, and you'll see what you get, okay? Well, and this is their medicine they came up with. You can use their medicine, and they'll tell you how much it is. If you'll click on it, it'll take you to where you can put your credit card in and pay for it. And they will for sure send it to you, right? Yeah, okay. This is up on my wall at all times. Snopes.com, factcheck.org, politifact.com. That's the place you can go to check your source. Okay, if you see a really outlandish thing on social media, go look there. If it's something that just came out, it may not be there. You may have to go check the news in different places, but do check before you share. That's it.